Have you ever missed someone so deeply that even her silence feels loud? You deleted her number, blocked her everywhere, swore you were done, but at 2 a.m. her ghost still visits? Not her voice. Not her body. Just the memory of the woman your mind refuses to let go. You're not haunted by her. You're haunted by the version of her that never existed. What if the woman you can't stop thinking about was never real? You didn't fall in love with her reality. You fell in love with a fantasy you built to survive loneliness. You projected your hopes and needs onto her image. You mistook emotional dependency for love. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The pain you feel isn't proof of love, it's proof that you gave someone else control over your peace. Think about it. You saw a few sparks of kindness, a smile that made you believe she understood you. You took those moments and built a story where she was everything you needed. But that story was fiction. You fell for what she represented, not who she was. It's like chasing a reflection in the water. The closer you reach, the more it disappears. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." You're not grieving her presence, you're grieving the illusion your mind created. And that illusion has become your chain. As long as you cling to it, you remain a prisoner of your own expectations. You didn't lose her, you lost the story you told yourself about her. Freedom isn't about forgetting her, it's about seeing reality as it is, and yourself as you are. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about mastering it. Healing begins the moment you stop chasing ghost sand. Start coming home to your own mind. You didn't just lose her. You lost the dream of who you thought she could become. That's why the pain feels endless, because you're not mourning her reality. You're mourning the fantasy your heart created to feel safe. You didn't fall in love with consistency or truth. You fell in love with potential, the brief kindness, the rare spark, the illusion that she cared more than she did. You took fragments and built a story, but that story was never real. You weren't in love with her. You were in love with what you imagined her to be. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." It's not her leaving that breaks you. It's your belief that she was meant to stay. It's the version of her that your mind refuses to let die. Think about it. We all build stories to protect our hearts. We ignore red flags and fill the silence with hope. We rewrite reality until the truth no longer fits. But reality doesn't bend, it stands still while we keep chasing illusion. It's like watching a film with the same ending, but you keep pressing replay, hoping one day she'll stay. That's not love, it's attachment to what never existed. Epictetus said, "It is not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." You're not grieving her absence, you're grieving your judgment of what should have been. You're mourning the world you built inside your head. When a man clings to illusion, he becomes his own jailer. He lives trapped in what-ifs and maybes, forgetting that freedom begins the moment he accepts what is. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." This heartbreak is not your punishment, it's your trial. To prove that you can let the fantasy die and face reality with strength. Because when you stop chasing what never was, you don't just lose her, you find yourself again. She wasn't your other half. She was your mirror. You didn't fall for her soul, you fell for what she reflected back to you. She awakened the parts of yourself you buried long ago, your passion, your boldness, your untamed spirit. That's why she felt magnetic. She reminded you of who you used to be before life made you play small. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." What you admired in her was never missing, it was buried inside you. You mistook recognition for attraction. You saw in her the courage you silenced, the freedom you feared, the fire you forgot. Think about it. When she was unpredictable, you felt alive because she mirrored the side of you that longs for freedom. When she was bold and demanding, it struck a chord because deep down, you were tired of being the agreeable one. You didn't love her personality, you loved what she unlocked in you. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself. You believed being with her would make you complete, but in truth, she only pointed to what was already yours. The qualities that pulled you toward her were not gifts she gave, they were reminders of what you had abandoned. Seneca wrote, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." You feared losing her, yet desired the version of yourself that appeared when you were with her. That's the paradox. You weren't chasing love, you were chasing identity. She wasn't your missing piece. She was your reflection. The strength, confidence, and depth you saw in her were simply your own waiting to rise again. So stop searching for someone to give you what's already within you. She was never the answer, she was the reminder. And once you understand that, the bond that felt unbreakable starts to fade into peace. Toxic love doesn't just hurt, it hooks you. It traps your mind like an addiction, feeding you with highs and lows that keep you coming back for more. Every time she gave you attention, your brain lit up with dopamine. Every time she pulled away, your body panicked, craving her like oxygen. It wasn't love, it was chemical chaos disguised as connection. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you keep chasing her, your thoughts become tinted by dependence. You start believing pain is passion and silence is mystery. But it's not. It's the cycle of addiction. Think about it. When she returned with a little kindness, you felt alive again. That's how your nervous system got tricked into confusing chaos with love. It's like a gambler chasing one more win after endless losses. You know it's destroying you, but the next hit keeps you trapped. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." She became your drug because you surrendered control. You tied your peace to her moods, your joy to her messages, your self-worth to her attention. That's not love, it's dependency in disguise. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." It takes courage to walk away from what feels like home but hurts like poison. The real battle isn't with hurts, with the part of you addicted to the chaos. Understand this. She didn't create your addiction. She exposed it. The pattern began long before her different faces. Same pain. You've been chasing emotional storms, hoping this time they'd end in calm. But storms don't love you back. The moment you stop craving her chaos, you begin your healing. Because love should steady you, not shatter you. When you realize that her power fades and your peace returns, that constant anxiety you feel around her isn't love. It's an alarm. Your body is screaming that something is wrong, yet your mind keeps calling it passion. You've mistaken emotional chaos for connection. When you're aligned with your truth, toxic people don't feel magnetic, they feel heavy. Their games don't excite you, they drain you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." When you lose that calm, you lose yourself. You start bending to please, performing just to be chosen. And in the process, you abandon the man you really are. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Letting go might make others think you're cold or heartless. But real growth isn't about appearances, it's about alignment. It's about choosing peace over the performance of love. She wasn't your salvation. She was your escape. An escape from the discomfort of meeting yourself again. That's why her absence feels unbearable, because now there's nothing left to distract you from your own reflection. Seneca reminded us, "No man was ever wise by chance." Wisdom comes through confrontation, through facing the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. Every heartbreak, every disappointment is a mirror showing you where you've lost your center. So stop running back to the storm just because the silence feels strange. You're not addicted to her. You're addicted to avoiding yourself. Healing begins when you turn inward, when you meet the man beneath the noise. She didn't just leave to hurt you. She left to reveal you. Because only in her absence do you finally hear the sound of your own soul calling you home. Every ounce of pain you've felt since she left isn't meaningless, it's information. Your heartbreak isn't punishment. It's a message, a signal pointing toward the parts of yourself you've abandoned. Each sleepless night, every moment of confusion, is your soul demanding your attention. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way? becomes the way. The pain you resist is the very doorway to your transformation. You're not being destroyed, you're being redirected. Think about it. Every boundary she crossed revealed the boundaries you never set. Every time she made you feel small showed how often you've been shrinking to fit. Every broken promise mirrored how often you've broken promises to yourself. She wasn't just a partner, she was a teacher, whether she knew it or not. Epictetus said, "Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself." Your heartbreak exposed your patterns, your wounds, and the places where you've betrayed your own worth. Each painful memory is a mirror reflecting where healing must begin. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Pain isn't the enemy, it's the compass showing you where you've lost your way. Every trigger is a teacher, every wound a window, every ache an invitation to grow. The qualities that drew you to her were never meant to stay with her, they were clues. The freedom, passion, and confidence you admired were your own, waiting to be reclaimed. So stop seeing pain as punishment. See it as direction. The more you face it, the clearer your path becomes. Because real healing doesn't happen when the pain disappears. It happens when you learn to listen to what it's been trying to say all along. The goal isn't to become hurts, to resurrect yourself. The man you were before you bent into shapes to please others still lives within you. He's been silent, buried beneath fear and people-pleasing. Now he's ready to rise again. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, you don't need to chase her qualities, you need to embody your own." If her independence hooked you, ask yourself where you've been depending too much on approval. If her passion inspired you, ask where you've been dimming your own fire to keep others comfortable. Think about it. You admired her confidence because you forgot your own. You envied her freedom because you confined yourself. You believed she made you feel alive, but in truth she only reflected the life you stopped living. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." You've spent years performing, trying to be loved, trying to fit in. But the real strength is in authenticity. Once you stop performing, some people will leave, and that's okay. You're not losing them, you're clearing space for those who see your worth without you having to shrink. Seneca reminded us, associate with people who are likely to improve you. When you reclaim your authentic self, you'll naturally attract people who value truth, not performance. That's when relationships stop draining and start expanding. You won't beg to be loved, dual. Choose to be respected. Because love built on truth feels different. It doesn't demand you to abandon yourself. It invites you to stand tall, calm, and whole. You stop fighting for attention and start living in alignment. That's the resurrection, remembering who you were before you forgot your worth. So, if you're ready to reclaim yourself, stop searching for her reflection. Start becoming the man she only reminded you you could be. Real love and attachment are not the same. Attachment clings. Love frees. Attachment says, "Be who I need you to be." Love says, "I see you as you are." One imprisons, the other liberates. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." Healthy love doesn't demand perfection. It accepts reality. It allows both people to remain whole without losing themselves in each other. Think about your past. You called the sleepless nights love, but it was dependence. You called her silence mystery, but it was control. You thought you were fighting for connection, but you were fighting to keep your identity alive inside a cage. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True love adds peace to your life. Toxic attachment steals it. Love lets you breathe. Attachment keeps you gasping. The pain you feel now isn't weakness. It's evidence that your heart still works, that it still believes in connection. But now, it must learn to believe in healthy connection. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." It takes courage to walk away from what once felt like home but was built on pain. The freedom you seek isn't found in another person, it's found in your own boundaries, your discipline, your peace. The right love won't drain you. It won't make you question your worth or demand your silence. It won't punish you for being human. Real love feels steady, not chaotic. You'll know it, not because it feels like war, but because it feels like home. Letting her go isn't just about hurt, it's about letting go of the version of yourself that thought love meant suffering. You were never missing her, you were missing you. And now, it's time to come home.